Hi, everyone. You can actually turn your cameras on if you'd like and join me, or at least your audio, in case you have questions about what we're doing here today. But I'm so excited that we are getting to do this today. And I'm having trouble because this is one of the things that happens when you're trying to do this live is getting everyone in through, because I'm, recording through the computer, and then I'm also going through my phone. So I'm gonna have to walk back and forth a little bit at the very beginning while I admit people in. If you have other solutions, let me know. But this is the only one that I know. And welcome again. Today we are having a recipe experience that it is sponsored by Casa M Spice. Now, Casa M Spice and I have a very long history. I found this spices how many years, like maybe almost 3 years ago, and they were a brand new spice in the market, and I bought it online, and then I loved it. And then I posted my, this corn on the cob that I made with the spices, and then they reached out to me. We ended up deciding to work together, and I helped them with recipe development. I was a brand ambassador. Then I took a little break because of COVID, and then we're back together again. And one of the reasons that I really love Casa M Spice is because all their spices are low sodium. They're really, really healthy. They have a tremendous line that I love, honestly. So in this case, we're going to use Cattle Drive. And what's interesting though about the brand, because I do a lot of recipe development for the brand, is that it may sound like, okay, Cattle Drive, is it just for beef? No, you can use it on anything. Like I've even made like breakfast hash and things with Cattle Drive, even if it has no beef in it. So of course we're using Cattle Drive today, and I'm so excited because you're really gonna love this recipe, and you're gonna see how quick and easy it is to make. And then there's Hooked. Hooked is what I primarily use for fish, and oh my God, I love it. I made, what was it that I made? I made sea bass, and it was like on the stove, and it was seared. Oh my God, sheer perfection. So it would be Hooked. And then there's Good Shepherd, which is a lamb seasoning. Jerked Chain, oh my God. And it sounds just like that. It is like amazing. And I love it on chicken wings with like a little bit of honey. Oh, very good. Whole Hog, which is our pork seasoning. And Chain Reaction, which is a season all and has like a nice little kick. Oh, when I put it on anything, literally, like I might use Good Shepherd for something and then always add a little bit of Chain Reaction. So that's why I like, to tell people, like, get a few of the spices, but make sure you get Chain Reaction, because to me, that is like the top of every single recipe that I like to create, for example. Now, pecking order, I use a ton. It is for poultry, right? So I use it for anything that I'm like, oh, I think it would go good with this, a turkey, pork, anything like that, I use pecking order. And that's the one I run out the most, aside from Chain Reaction. So let me check, make sure that we have no one waiting to get into the room. I think we're good. And it's 8 of you here, and I'm so excited to have you all here. And we're gonna start by turning on our stove. And I'm gonna put mine on, there you go. These little things are a little tricky, but yeah, so I have mine all the way up pretty much, because I want to heat the oil really, really fast. And here we go. I'm going to put in my olive oil. So you're going to start with that, and you're just going to let it warm up for a couple of minutes. Now, because it's so high, it's going to heat up really fast. And then we're going to be adding the garlic. I'm so excited. I cannot wait till the end of this, because you're going to be making this all the time, because it's so simple. And I recommend that you use a cast iron skillet, or like I don't know, this is a Le Creuset, Enameled, whatever it's called. And I love it because the way that the dish finishes off, this is like the perfect vehicle to present your dish to your guests or to your family, because it's just so pretty. So that's why I like to make it in here, because at the end, we're going to put that cheese on top, and it's going to melt, and it's just going to be beautiful when you present it at the table. So I think this is warm enough. So we're going to be adding our garlic. And I usually like burn myself a little bit when I cook in situations like this, because I never judge my heat right, and I'm not in my actual kitchen. This is my little studio space. But if you have any question, guys, feel free to ask them. I'm going to be going into the chat, so I have everything open. And who can see my messages? Yep, I want everyone to see my messages. So if you have any questions, go ahead and you can type them in if you don't want to be on camera. And we're going to allow the garlic to just release a little bit of its flavor. So 30 seconds or so is more than enough. And then we're going to do the ground beef that, of course, I left in the fridge. So let me get it. Oh, this is my life. I am such a mom. I forget everything, guys. But you see, I keep talking and then you can still hear me. So that works. Thank God for my headphones. Otherwise, I'd be sounding like I'm going to like another planet. And I'm here. And I'm going to be doing 1 pound of ground beef. And I like 85%, but you can go with 80 if that's what you prefer. Anyone have any questions? I burnt the garlic a tad bit, but that's okay because it's not.
Yeah, I have a question. What if I wanted to add ground pork instead, or you know, potentially if I wanted to?
Absolutely, you can totally do that. You can add ground pork, you can add ground chicken if you'd like. I have a friend who's a vegetarian and she wants to add tofu to it. So that's what she's going to be doing with this recipe. So what is your preferred? And who am I speaking with? Is it Gwen?
You're speaking with Eileen.
Eileen, oh, hi.
Yes, yes.
I thought it was Gwen. My friend Gwen, who's also a steak maker, is joining us today. So I'm very excited to have Gwen with us. So yeah, so you can replace it with anything that you would like. So here I'm just giving it some good color, as you can tell. And then it's just, and I'm leaving it, normally I cook it down like in a more of like a medium setting, but because I don't want you guys to be sitting around forever, I have the heat still on high and I'm just kind of going with it and going with it. Any other questions? If you have any, feel free to ask them. But right now, it's just about browning, pardon me, this beautiful beef. And what's interesting about this recipe is that I came up with this recipe because I wanted people to be able to make something that's really, really good, really delicious, and that the whole family's gonna like, that doesn't take a ton of time and needs a million ingredients, right? So therefore, the star, of course, of this recipe is the cattle dry, and then also the salsa. So the medium salsa and the cattle dry together is what really takes it to like another level. Of course, the cheese is always gonna do that too. But absolutely, the cattle dry, any kind of meat, honestly, with cattle dry is really, really good. And remember that we're also going to be doing a giveaway, and that's gonna happen when we cover the rice to let it cook. We're gonna chat a little. So guys, if you have any questions at that time, please let me know, because we're gonna be spending a lot of time just waiting for this rice. And if anyone's cooking along, please let me know too, because it'd be great to be able to answer any questions that you have. Okay, let me check. Yeah, so it's funny because I'm like on safe driving mode. I'm like, oh, I'm not on safe driving mode. So here we go, hold on. Okay, so mine is coming together. Eileen, being that you just spoke a second ago, how's yours coming along?
It's coming along really good. Nice.
Oh.
It looks really nice. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So mine barely has any liquid now. Does yours have liquid?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, so I'm waiting on that. And I'm trying to get back to the chat because it kind of kicked me out of the chat here. Okay, here we go. And I have no idea why. So now I have to figure out, why did you kick me out of it? I don't know, but I'll check on the computer just to make sure too that no one else is waiting. So we're almost going to the next step, guys. So now that the meat is pretty much dried out and cooked through, I'm gonna add my cattle dry. And I already put it here, so that would be easier and I can measure it better. And then here we go. I'm just putting it in and just blending it right into that beef. And I wish you could smell it, because you can smell like a little, like what do you say, like a little seasoned spice, like a little spicy as in hot spicy, but it's not super hot spicy, but you can smell it for sure. And here we go, guys. So, yeah, okay, we did that. And this is the fun part. This is, guys, we're about to cover the rice, which is why I love this recipe. It's so fast. So this is medium salsa. Now this is the fresh salsa that I buy at the supermarket. So it's not the one in the jar, but if you want the one in the jar, that's fine too. It can have it medium, mild, or super hot and spicy. It'll be up to you. And now I'm gonna lower the heat on it because I don't want these tomatoes to overcook. So now I'm seasoning it in very, very well. And then I'm going to add the chicken broth. Ooh, let me check before I add the seasoned broth that there's no one waiting in this room. No one's waiting, that's perfect. And I might open up my chat here because for some reason I can't do it in the other one. There you go, that's perfect. Okay, so we're going to add the chicken broth. You can do beef broth as you like, but I prefer chicken broth, and that's going to be 2.5 cups of chicken broth. That's it. I'm going to give it another stir really quick here. Okay, then we're going to add the rice. Super fast, guys. Oh, where's my rice? It's right here. So now I wash this rice. I don't always wash the rice, but I get criticized if I don't. Dominicans, which is where I'm from, we always wash the rice because in my opinion, obviously it's all about starch and getting rid of starch, but it's not always that way for me. It's more like, okay, the rice is dirty, so it might have little black things, and some brands have a lot more like junk in it. I've seen a certain brand that has like little rocks in it, and that drives me crazy. So that rice I absolutely wash, and then I sift through it to make sure I get anything out. So this brand I bought is very, very clean rice. So I just washed it, I rinsed it 3 times, and then now I'm just gonna go ahead and add it to our pot. Here we go. Gosh, you guys, it's coming together and I am so excited. I cannot wait. Okay, so here we go. We are going to do this. And then I'm gonna make sure now that I put the heat back up. I just wanna make sure now that it comes to a boil before we cover it. So that's gonna come to a boil very likely very soon. So we added the rice, right? And now we're gonna add the corn. Yeah. And then we're going to add the black beans, and you can use any kind of corn that you want, any kind of black beans that you want to use, any brand is what I should say. Or, you know, this one is just black beans, but you can use kidney beans. One time I almost, but didn't do it, added guandules, which is a very Latin thing, like Puerto Rican, Dominican thing. Yes, I hear someone. I heard someone. Okay, let me see. And there's a question there. And let's check this question out. I wish I could figure this out to be better. Ooh, you don't wash the brown rice. Oh, Bess, you don't wash the brown rice. And it's funny because we in Latin America don't use a lot of brown rice, but I wonder if we did use it, would we wash it? That's a good question to ask because we're not like, as you can tell, the healthiest of eaters. We just like a lot of spice, and we like rice and a lot of rice and beef and you know, so we kind of are not as moderate as we should be. Okay, guys, so that's it. It's all ready to go. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I don't even know if I put that in the directions, but yes, a little bit of salt, and only because we added so much other stuff that I wanna make sure that we get flavor out of this. So here we go. And now we're just gonna let it sit for a little bit. And then we're gonna cover it and let it cook for 20 minutes. So how long have we been at this? Let's see, okay, so we've been at this for less than 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, guys, we've already almost pretty much done with this dish, which is absolutely insane to me. Actually, one thing that I did forget to add was the tomato paste. I forget that. That cannot be forgotten. So the tomato paste is going in, and because it's already warm, that's going to melt really, really quickly. Really, really quickly. Here we go. Here we go. Any other question, guys? If so, this is your time to ask the question. So I'm gonna leave it here on, I think this is melted through pretty much. Oh no, there's a little bit in there.
So
And guys,
I have a question really
okay.
quickly. This is Eileen. So I know that they sell those canned corn that has like peppers and stuff in it as well. Do you recommend using that?
I recommend using whatever it is that you like to put in Mexican food. And to me, the only thing that you have to be careful about is that a lot of those cans, especially the ones that have the peppers, they have flavoring in it. So it already has somewhat of like a Tex-Mex flavor. So you want to be careful that you don't over season the dish. So I recommend just going straight with just corn, just yellow corn or white corn. And of course, all these, we want to make sure we drain before we put them in here, because we don't want to add extra liquid. Otherwise, it's going to take forever for this rice to cook. And it's funny how I kept a little spoon, but you know, it's okay. So here we go. I am going to cover the rice now. And in a little bit, oh my God, I'm so excited because as you guys can see, it's very, very simple, not much to this. And a lot of people that I've had, you know, taste this recipe, they loved it. So, okay, so I'm gonna lower the heat a little because I don't want it to overcook. And there you go. And you're gonna make sure it's covered. It has to be covered, otherwise it won't, you know, take in all that moisture and get rid of it. So now I just have my cheese ready to go. And then I have my, and it's interesting too, there was a typo in there about shallots. We did not need shallots. I have no idea how shallots got in there, but shallots was in there. And I think what I was trying to do, because it's green onions, there's another name for green onions. And I think that I got it confused and I wrote shallots because I keep thinking in Spanish, and that's like one of my things that I do is think in Spanish. Okay, guys, so here we go. I'm gonna time it. Timer. Okay.
In terms of the heat for the, now that you covered it, would you say it's at low heat or?
I mean, I have mine on a low to medium.
Okay.
And yeah, low to medium heat is fine. But it also depends like on the amount of rice that you're cooking. What I notice is whenever I cook like a big bunch of rice, I have to have it a little bit higher so that the rice cooks quicker. I notice that if I have it too low, it takes longer to cook through. So yeah, so that, and I'm actually gonna put it in for 15 minutes just to test out the rice first, to look at it, make sure everything's looking good. And then I'll go ahead and continue the process, either adding the cheese and the green onions. And then what I like about this recipe too is after you open it up and add that, the first part of the cheese and the green onions, then you cover it. Oh, actually, sorry, you mix it well, then you put the top mozzarella on top, and then you cover it for like 2 minutes, and then it just melts all over the rice. Then you put the cilantro over it that you've chopped, and it's like, it's so beautiful. Like, I didn't even want to touch it when I first made it the first time. I was like, I don't want anything to disrupt the beauty of this dish. But of course we had to eat it, so we had to touch it. So I have questions for you guys. Okay, so what made you sign up for this today? I would love to hear about it because I'm curious. Can you type it in and tell me why you wanted to be part of this experience today? Because I would love to know. I'm going to check here. And it's interesting because I'm having such a hard time getting to my comments here. Scallion. Oh my God, Bess, you're so good. Scallions. And what's really funny, and people make a lot of fun of me because I think in English and Spanish. So whenever I am talking in English, I forget words and I only remember them in Spanish. And then I'm like, and I sound like, what is wrong with this girl? And then another times I'll be talking in Spanish and I only know it in English. And then here we go again. I'm like, it's like a curse sometimes. Now, for some reason, this is on safe driving mode and it's not letting me see my chats. It's like, no, Belqui, you're not going to chat. So I'm gonna get in here and try to change the setting for the Zoom. And I've never used Zoom while I'm driving. That's very interesting that it went to, there you go. Okay. Chat. Thank you, chat. You're open now. Don't go away. Leave, just stay right there. One of the things that I also wanted to mention about Casa and Spice is that they have, not only do they have these awesome jars and then obviously these shakers that I just totally love, they sell refills. So you can buy your refills. And then also these cool little packets that the minute I saw them, I was like, oh my God, I love these packets. So yes, so these are available as well. So you don't have to buy the shakers if you don't want to. And remember that we're giving away a mini wrench pack today. And that's gonna be like in literal seconds. So be ready because I'm going to be announcing who won. And then Jaylee is here with us. Hi, Jaylee, how are you? Okay.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? I'm so excited to hear you. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good and I'm enjoying this a lot.
Are you cooking along with me?
I am not cooking along today, but I am taking notes.
Yes, good. I'm glad. And I think this is such a, especially because you're a mom and you're busy, girl, this is going to be so fast. Like right now I'm teaching you guys how to make it and it's, you know, alive and sometimes it feels a little weird when you don't have people right in front of you, but it's like boom, boom, boom. And once you learn how to make it, you know, you're not even going to like think twice. It's going to be like just throwing ingredients in the pot. And then you're saying that you wanted to learn how to make Latin dishes to keep the culture alive at home, since I am so far from my native hometown, New York City. I hear you, girl. I hear you. I hear you. Do you cook a lot of other cuisines? What's your favorite, Jilly?
To be honest, Belqui, thank you for introducing me and having me on the show. But honestly, I never really cooked that much before I had a baby. So as a new parent and being stuck with the pandemic, I've had to really, you know, be creative. It's very difficult for me to cook. I have to be honest. It is not my thing. But I am far from New York City. There are not a lot of Dominican like dishes or restaurants. I'm out west. I'm in Colorado, and my mother, who is Dominican and was born and raised there, she's, you know, she comes to visit and cooks a lot of the dishes, and I just want to like keep
and
that
you get
alive.
spoiled. You know? You get spoiled.
So that's why I watch you. I do. I always look at your stuff because I'm like, I'm gonna, you know, use these things, and it's easy to follow you. I know you well. You know, I see because I follow you so much, and the family knows
Thank
you.
you.
So I'm just very excited. Yeah.
And one of the things that I've noticed too, because I've been cooking since I was 12 years old. So I've been cooking since I was very, very young. I'm 47 now. And what I noticed is I didn't cook as much when I was like in my 20s. I did cook the Dominican food though, because I was like, I needed my Dominican food. And of course, some Mexican dishes as well. But I didn't cook as much because I was like, career, you know? Then we become parents and we're like, we kind of like are rusty, right? We get really rusty, especially if you are not cooking all the time. And that's when I started to actually fall in love with cooking even more, because not only was I cooking my Dominican, you know, food, but then now I was expanding. I was like making Italian dishes. I was making Indian dishes, Chinese dishes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. You know, and then I started to feel really proud of myself for pulling it off. Because at first, when I started cooking the other cuisines, I seriously felt that I was just pulling it off. It didn't feel like it was like a natural thing for me. The other cuisines, I was just pulling it off. And now I just love it. Like, I just can't wait to see the end results of a dish. I don't necessarily love like getting everything ready and prepped, but I do love the cooking and seeing the end result. So I'm excited, Jaylee, that you're getting like into this, because I think that once you start preparing more dishes and then you get all the acclimates from like your husband and the family, you'll be like, oh my God, you know, I really like being flattered. I'm gonna cook some more. So let me know if you start cooking a little bit more, because I, you know, more than even right now. Just let me know. Share your successes. Yeah,
I will.
Cool. And then now I'm gonna actually talk to Gwen. Gwen, my love, I don't know if you can hear me and if you can talk to me right now, because I know you're in the room, but thank you so much for being here. Guys, Gwen Limon, she's actually Simply Dished here on Tastemade. And she is just new to the experiences. She's going to be launching her first experience really, really soon. She's vegan. She's clean eating. She is awesome. And I just love her to pieces. So if you are looking for vegan food and very, very healthy and like these amazing alternatives to, you know, what, let's say I'm cooking right now, she's your gal. She is there right underneath me, I think, when you go to the makers page on Tastery. So go check her out. And she's also going to offer packages that you can get monthly, the subscriptions. So, hola, Gwen. Are you there? Can you talk?
I can. Hey, Belqui.
Hi, love. Introduce yourself a little bit. No, I said a lot.
Man, you gave me a good intro there. I appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Like Belqui said, I'm all about vegan cooking and helping you eat healthier. Definitely, a lot of my dishes, you know, are a mixture of cultures, kind of like what Belqui does. I have a mixed family, and I always like to share different recipes that are coming from my culture. I have a husband who's Cuban as well as Mexican, so a lot of my dishes are plays on some of the dishes he grew up on. I'm particularly African American, so a lot of dishes that I cover and I'm going to be covering here on Taste Made, I'm excited to share because a lot of them are American classics, but made vegan or a little bit healthier. You know, if you're trying to eliminate all the meat that you're eating in your day-to-day life, but they're tasty. Just like Belqui says, a lot of seasoning. I'm all about the seasoning too. So definitely.
Yes, and we're planning something together, right? We're planning to do something together. So we're gonna do something where let's say I do a Cuban dish, right? And then I'm gonna make it with the meat, you know, the way it's traditionally made. And then Gwen is gonna side by side. We're trying to figure out how it's gonna work out. She's gonna go ahead and make another version of it that's totally vegan and clean. So that's fun.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. So stay tuned. You're doing so good, Belqui. I'm not cooking with you today. But I'm enjoying your show. So keep up the good work, girl.
Thank you. And you know, you can't eat the meat anyway. So but I know that you're gonna find a way to twist it. So that's good.
I will. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out as far as meat substitutes. So definitely still thinking of ways that I can incorporate this dish and make it vegan. So
very cool.
Looks
very
good.
Cool. Now, can you give our viewers an option where they can still use, you know, cattle drive, but not use beef? Is there a beef that you recommend that they try if they wanted to go vegan with this?
Yeah, I definitely would say experiment with two of my favorite ones are Impossible Meat. You can actually get the ground beef. It looks like really shockingly comparable to what like real meat looks like, and you can find that in the grocery store. And Impossible Meat is really good one. I would say my favorite though has to be the Beyond Meat. Like it's kind of scary how much it tastes like the real deal, and it's all from plants. You can find it like I said, your local grocery store. Costco carries it now. If you have a Costco in your area or Sam's Club, it's at pretty much every major grocery chain now. But I definitely would say those would be my two top ones. If you're trying to
will it break up in this dish the same way as the beef?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, it gets really like, even if you look at it, you would trick your family. They would not even know that they're eating plants.
See, there you go. So that's another option for everyone. And of course, then the cheese, we'll have to figure out the cheese, but maybe that's something that you can try to come up with, Gwen.
Yes,
an alternative to this one, and then you let me know.
I'm gonna have to veganize it. Yeah, there's a lot of vegan cheeses that are out there that I experiment with, and that have that same amount of like drip and stickiness like what cheeses would have. I mean, made out of like cashew milk and so many good things. But it's out there. It's out there.
Yeah, all my vegan friends will be like this or that, or they'll bring like, sometimes I'll have people over and cook and they'll bring like alternatives to things that I have. And it's amazing. I'm like, this is so good. And when we visit them, then I get, you know, the Impossible Burgers, and I do get the Beyond Meat that they serve. And like you said, you cannot tell the difference like in any way, shape or form.
You can't totally.
Yeah.
You look at it, and even people that come to my like social media, they'll be like, what? That's plants. Yep. I'm like, yep, it is.
You can shock anybody. Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So with this, I would just want to say thank you so much though, before I go. I was just going to start talking about this dish. And I'm like, hey, I'm being rude. But love, I'm just so grateful that you're on the platform with me and, we're going to, have fun. So
We
thank you
are.
for being
Thank you
here.
so much, Belqui.
Yeah,
Back
I
at you, girl.
appreciate
You're
it.
doing great.
Thanks. I got you too, girl.
Yes.
Okay. So what else? Let me see. Do I have? Oh, Beth, thank you so much. I do look a little young. I think it's like, just like the spirit kind of keeps you young, maybe. I'm gonna be 48 in when is it? June. I forgot my birthday. In June, I'm gonna be 48. So it's kind of crazy because time does fly. I still feel 15 and I act like I'm 20, maybe 21 so I can drink. But yes, so guys, this is almost ready. It has 2 more minutes to go and I'm gonna announce who the winner is. And this is kind of insane because I have to see how many people are in the room right now. And ooh. Okay, so what I wanna do is, let me see, okay, so actually, I'm gonna leave it up to, Eileen. Eileen, pick a number. And whatever number she picks from, let me see, 1, 2, 3. So pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 4.
1 through 4. 3.
Jelly. Jelly wins. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's Gwen. I can't count people. I'm sorry, Jelly. It's Gwen. 1, 2, 3.
I was gonna claim my prize. I was just about to claim my prize, guys.
But don't worry, girl, because I'll send you some. Anyway, I'll send you some anyway. So don't worry, I'll reach out to you and send you some because you need to have these. I'm telling you, once you use them, you guys, and I love to grill with these too. So in the summertime, it's like shake, 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 shake on everything. So, okay, so Gwen, I'll reach out to you too to get your information. And I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm so excited that you got it, Gwen. Oh my God. Thank you for being here. Your dish smells great, Gary. Thank you. Oh my God. I can't wait. I can't wait to open this up and put the rest of the ingredients because you're going to be like freaking out when I'm able to do a close up because the camera that's recording right here, I'm going to take it down and just give you good close up so you can see what the end result is. And then you're going to be making this dish like either today or tomorrow or the next day, but you're going to make it really, really soon. Okay, so I keep thinking, when is my alarm going to go off so I can open this? So let's see. Oh, 9 seconds. So I'm just going to cancel it. And then when we open this rice, it's going to be a little gooey, right? And dry. You see that? Oh my God, you are so gorgeous. By the way, I like to talk to my food. I talk to my food. I tell it I love it. That's just how I go about things. So now it's kind of dried out. Eileen, you're cooking along, right? Yes, you are. How's yours now?
Just like yours, exactly.
Okay. Yay. Okay, so we're gonna just add the green onions. And I like to spread it around, but I'm still gonna spread it around with the cheese anyway, but it's just, And then I'm gonna take the cheese and I'm just gonna put it in here. And this cheese, I do like to spread around a little bit just so that it makes it easier for me when I am stirring it. So let's see, I'm gonna take the one that I took the rice out with because it'll just make it so much easier for me. So here we go. I have a big spoon and I'm gonna lightly and gently just fold in that cheese. Can you guys see it? I hope you guys can see it really well because oh my God.
Do we do half the cheese at this point?
Yes, we're gonna do half the cheese. So just half, and it should be melting immediately once you do that. Oh God, I love it. Okay. You guys, you see how excited I get when this is finished? I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. Okay, so, and then one thing that I am going to do really quick is I'm gonna taste my rice. I just wanna make sure. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's hot. Okay, let it sit just a little bit. Okay. And if your rice is still watery, just go ahead and wait a little bit longer because every rice is going to cook differently. So every stove, I should say, cooks differently. So just let it sit for a little bit longer. And then you add the green onions and the cheese. So here we're adding the rest of this cheese on top, just like that. And then we're going to add, actually, I'm actually not going to put this in now. Let me just wait for the cilantro to do it later. Okay, here we go. And now we just cover it for about 2 more minutes. Now, Eileen, being that you're cooking it, and Gary, did you taste the rice to make sure that it's tender and cooked through?
Yes, I did, and it's perfect. It's tender.
Okay, good.
It feels cooked through at this point. Yeah.
Okay, good. How about you, Gary? Can you tell me? I'm like, Gary's like, let me cook. I'm trying to cook.
Yeah, no, it worked. Yeah, my rice is good. The flavor's perfect.
So now that we have it covered and you added the cheese and everything, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes and then we'll do our beautiful unveiling. And then I wanna hear from you again, Gary.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. This is like the worst part, like just waiting. And then I wanna show you guys this, I wanna kill some time while we're waiting. My hubby, he's so sweet. He got me a Belqi's, well, not one. He got me like some Belqi's twist plates for Christmas. He's like, yeah, so that when you're cooking, you can like put it there and people can see your logo. I'm like, oh, you're so sweet. But he, he's just trying to like put my logo out there everywhere so people never have to ask, what's your name again? Okay, so let me check. I'm just gonna peek. Oh my God. Okay, almost. Mine is almost. Like I like to leave it in there until it doesn't, like you can't see the shredded cheese because I think it'll look just prettier when you serve it for people. So maybe another few seconds.
Quick question for you, Belqui.
What?
Quick question for you. I envision this even getting like maybe tortillas on the side and putting it in and kind of eating it, not a burrito, but similar.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really good option as well for those people who want to have fun with it.
Yeah, and I actually made pork carnitas for my blog that I'm actually going to have this with. So those were instant pot pork carnitas that I made. So they're in my fridge. I'm just going to heat them up and have it on the side with this and maybe take a few slices of avocado and then, serve it on the side. And then that's it. That's well, not that the rice is not a complete dinner, but then it's a complete dinner. So that's my plan with this. And I'm going to actually keep this rice in here. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit once I'm done because we're not going to eat this now. We're going to eat this for dinner. Let it cool down. Once it cools down, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and then I'm just going to serve it in, in plates and then heat it up for everybody individually. That way, we don't like have to, because once I reheat something, I don't like to reheat it a third time. So that's my advice. Just reheat it once and then that's it, guys. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Okay, so now that this is done, I'm gonna shut the heat off and then I'm gonna take my cilantro and I'm just gonna go ahead and add it. And I think I took too much cilantro, but anyway, here we go. It's chopped cilantro, it's all here. Gary, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I have to unmute you.
Yeah, no, that's why I waited a little bit. I'm like, why is she picking on me? So here's mine, guys. Can you tell? The cheese is like beautiful and gooey.
Amazing.
Oh my God. I just love it. I don't know what it is about this dish, but I just really love it. And of course, guys, remember that this is a Casa M sponsored experience. And, we really would like for you guys to check out their website. It's casamspice.com. And the founders are Mike and Manny, and they're super cool people. And they just have a great staff that works with them as well. And it's such a pleasure, every time I create recipes for them. So this is it, guys. That's it. So who's tasted? Eileen, you tasted it now that it's completely done?
Yes, it is so delicious. I can't wait to eat it all.
That's good. And how about you, Gary?
Hey, it's lunch for me today.
This is lunch. You're gonna eat all this, Gary? Did you make the right amount? The same amount?
Yeah.
I'm a little worried now if you eat this whole thing for lunch.
Yeah, no, just some of it.
Just some of it. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone being here and, supporting this experience. And let me make sure I look at this chat. Make sure I don't forget anyone. Talking to the food. Yes, Jaylee, talking to the food. And Gwen also talks to her food. And thank you, Jaylee. It looks beautiful. Yeah, I'm really going to talk to my food moving forward. I swear to God, it's almost like when you hear about plants that people talk to their plants and I don't know, they live longer and all that. I'm like, well, my food might taste better if I keep talking to it because I'm nuts. But yes, so that's it, guys. I'm going to have a little taste and then I'm going to say adios and I will see you guys very soon again. Okay? Bye. This is how I end my episodes on my channel. I taste and say bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Adios. Oh, so good.
I think it's just